Happy Saturday. As promised, we're going to talk about metal tape today. This is metal tape. Comes with an adhesive backing that is very easy to remove. Just kind of get it started and then just pull it off. We're going to make a man cave sign today. And this is how it begins. We're going to take a glue stick. You're going to glue down your letters. And then we're going to start adding textures, whatever you want. It could be cutouts of footballs, basketballs. Today I'm using some plastic canvas, kind of create a grid. We want some texture so that when we put the tape over it and start manipulating it, we want, when we put the paint on, it to have something to grip onto. These are just some eyelet backs. That's kind of manly. And you will glue all of that down. Of course, I've done one. Oh, after you glue it down, of course, you're going to put your tape on. I like to cut my tape into squares and straight lines. This canvas will be taped down too. And you just start laying this down. Like so. Okay, I'm going to get all of this out of the way. And bring the one I have totally covered now to the forefront. And then we're going to start manipulating it. And how we're going to do that is we're going to use tools to get in there. Make some impressions. Cause those grids to show. Define the letters. You use various tools. You don't want my stump. That paper stump that I introduced you to is a perfect tool. Or even the erasers. When I talked about the big fat erasers that are on the end of pencils, those big pencils, they're great. Put your fill around. And you find those letters. I think I'm upside down. You see, in this one, I did the exact same thing. The reason why I like to, instead of just covering it with one piece, you can get more texture by sectioning it, adding strips at a time. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's absolutely worth it. I should have did some of this off camera, but we'll do it together. Okay, M-A-N-C-A. This is an A in here. Trying to keep my hand out of the way. Hope you guys having a great weekend. Here in Kansas, it's a little bit overcast. Although we're the sunshine state, the sun is not making much of an appearance today. Then you'll go in and define your little nails. One of these tools, if you look, has like a Phillips screwdriver on one end, and I love that because I can come in and make some screwdriver looking stuff in those circles. And I've placed two of them strategically right here so that when I decide to hang it, I won't have to use eyelets. I didn't use eyelets on this one because I knew this ribbon was going to go through. You wouldn't even see the hole. And where I have those strips at, I like to use what we call a roller wheel. It's a wheel that has texture. And all those things will give the paint something to grip. It's so fun and it's very relaxing. I think that you will like it. And you can make anything look really great. You can do stuff for a kid's room and, you know, use kid colors. Blues and pinks and several of those wheels that do different things, that have different textures. And I like to use them all. It just makes it more interesting. That's a good one. I use this cardboard or ruler because it helps you stay as straight as you can, although I don't worry about perfection. You know, it's handmade. We don't want it to look handmade, but we don't want it to be perfect either. And it has a, if you can, run your tool. See, I went off the track, but that's all. It's not lost. It's not the end of the world. If anybody says anything, they say, well, I planned it that way. I wanted it to do exactly that. Some of my biggest successes were oops. Well, I thought they were oops. Now this particular ball has no texture, so it's great for covering a whole lot of surface, especially with the letters. Let's see. If you wanted even more dimension, you could put 2 layers, or even 3. When you cut out your buy, because you can buy foam letters. It doesn't matter whether it's cardboard or foam or whatever. Some of those things that you create with metal, it's flat. So you can, what is this? This is an N. You can put it down here. You know, just let your imagination. Run wild. Yeah. And even after you're done, you can add clay embellishments or whatever. And I told you next week we're gonna start our lesson on working with clay and making molds. That way you won't have to buy a lot of stuff. You can make it. And working with clay is so relaxing and wonderful. One of the particular clays I'm going to teach you to work with does not even require an oven. But if you ever had a garage sale, maybe in your garage you have one of those toaster ovens, pull it out, because you can use any oven that gets to the temperature of 300, because most clay only requires 275 on average to bake. But those toaster ovens, be careful, because my girlfriend bought one at a garage sale, and the timing, after a while, the heat element, the timing gets off, and although she had it on 275, apparently she couldn't control the temperature because her clay burned up, and you haven't smelled anything horrible until you smell burnt clay. But there are ovens especially made for clay, and they're about 30 to 40 bucks, but you really don't need that. You know, we got to remember, people want to sell stuff, but way before all of these crafts came on the scene, people were using tools around their home. I know a guy who tools leather, and he tools leather with a knife. He's been doing it for years, and he eventually bought some tools, but minimal amount, because we don't need it. They need to sell it to us, so they package it and try to tell us that we're not going to be good without it. But honey, it is not the tool, it is the craftsman. You know, I've been sewing all my life, and I might not know a lot of sewing terms. Maybe I don't even know the names of some of the fabrics, but I defy anyone to try to outsew me. I don't even need a pattern, because my mother had 11 kids, and she couldn't afford no patterns. My mother would cut patterns out of newspaper. She see it in her mind and she would make it come true. You know, God gave us a brain and He gave us an abundance of creativity. You know, I know that a lot of young women are struggling raising families, single household. But if they're going to be home anyway and they own the internet, I hope they tune in because they can learn stuff that will help them not be dependent upon the government. Do you know that if you don't want your child to take immunization or all those things because there are tests that's proven some of that stuff are harmful for babies, you better not tell them you're not going to let your child get immunized. They'll take your monthly assistance. And that's how people control you. We give people the power to control us, and we don't have to because we can work with our hands and God will bless it. You know, I don't care how bad the economy is. There's always somebody who could afford your stuff. People will buy what they want. They'll put it on those credit cards or whatever. But I never let none of that stop me because the Bible says the righteous will never be forsaken. And I've always been able to earn. Even, you know, when times were hard because the human nature is like that. There's some people in this world who got money. Look at the stars and, you know, Will Smith is loaded. You know, he'll buy Afrocentric stuff or it doesn't even just have to be Afrocentric because you know I cater to everybody, especially lately, Game of Thrones people, they love Game of Thrones, and I love Game of Thrones. And I'm always making stuff for whatever the theme. I live in Kansas, so a lot of my stuff is very Western related. So it does not matter who you are. Create something for. If you build it, they will come. See how you could add dimension by just going around this stuff? You'll spend a little time. I think I'm going to stop. Just going to define as many of these as I can. I want to show you the next step. We're going to finish this. I'm going to put 3, I think, because I'm working with a small piece of... I mounted it on chipboard. You could use cardboard, but find something sturdy. I'll put 2 layers. Now the fun with this one. There you go. And then you'll come back and use the other side to cut it. See, you got your little, where is it, right there? You got your little screw looking deal working there. Anything that will appeal to the guys. You know, you could, if he's a carpenter, you could get cutouts of saws and hammers. You know, give it a theme. If you want to, you could get the lettering of his name, Ben's Man Cave. And if he likes his little cold beer, you could get a beer bottle, cut out a couple of them, put it around. You could make it personal by saying, "No ladies allowed," which you better not. Especially if you're married, we don't play that. It's like, I gotta clean this room, I'm coming up in here. He'll say, "Look, I don't want you cleaning my man cave." My husband didn't want me in his man cave, and he kept it clean. He knew one way to keep me out is clean it up, because doggone it, if I smell anything, I'm coming in there and fumigating the place. Look under the couch, there might be some pizza from last game. You know, I didn't play that. You tell the fellas, "Man, before y'all leave, y'all gotta help me clean this room up, because this woman is gonna go crazy if she smells pizza or something next week." So they did. They had a cleaning before they left. They couldn't leave to help them clean his room. "Man, you gotta help me clean my room." That was funny. Oh, the good old days. So you can spend as much time on it as you want. Or as little. Sometimes I like to get carried away. I'll come in, do some lines, go this way. And I want stuff for the paint to grip, remember? A mind camera. You know I'm looking at the computer making sure. I like to come the other way too. Why not? Alright, I'm going to stop and paint. But spend as much time as you can, because you can define this stuff. The more you define it, the better it looks. Go all the way around everything. Bring it out. Now, I got a little fancy on this one. I used some metal paint so that I could patina it. But with the guys, they don't like all that. I shouldn't say that. Some do, but on the average they don't. I keep it plain. I'm going to paint it black, wipe most of the black off after it creep into all these little crevices. And then I'm going to top it with some rubber on, probably gold. Black and gold, that's perfect for a Saints fan. You know, I'm from Louisiana, so you know I have a bias. Although they haven't been winning lately. I don't care. I loved them when we was wearing sacks on our head. I'm a true Saints fan. I'm no fair weather. I think that Super Bowl win was God blessing us after we've been through so much with Katrina. He just wanted to reach down and kiss us. And that did it, because them fools lost their mind. You would too if you've been waiting forever for something you'd been dreaming about. And if you make an error, just go and smooth it out. So I got a little carried away with this end. And there are things you can do. Like my paper stump that I can't seem to find. I kept looking at it. It may have rolled back here. Okay. We're going to stop there and we're going to move on to the next step. You see why I call it the Great Imposter? Who would believe that if this stuff in it? I paid maybe $10 for this roll, and I've been having this so long. I can't even make it then. It was about that thick. And I'm still rolling. You're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. So now you bring out your wet wipes, and this one I soaked in alcohol. Alcohol will remove anything. I can use it to clean my mat, use it for everything. So here comes the black paint. That was carried away. This is a dry one. You're going to spend a little time because you want that black to get in there. This could be any color, remember. Most of it is going to be wiped off, but not until we get it. That's why you want to give it, I forgot, sometimes I do this. I rough it up even more. And there's those little wire whisks that comes in some of your Dremel kits. And you can whisk it and mark it and scar it up. You know, it's for a guy. The more scarring and the better. And the reason why I use it, oh, by the way, did I tell you this was this plain old plastic canvas? And the reason why I use that, because it allows me to let the paint, give the paint something to sink into. So you can rough up anything. And because I use two of those eyelet back here, I just need to punch a hole and hang it. I can hang it with chain. Just anything. Let your imagination run wild. I'll probably use a black chain. Where's my little alcohol soap one? Look, I just removed paint just like that. Oop, there it is. Then you come back with another dry one and start removing some of that paint. Don't worry about removing too much, because you can still just add it back on. I leave some. And even after you come back with your gold, or whatever color you're going to use, you can use gold paint, or any color paint. But I like this rub-on. It's just metallics. I know it looks yucky, but you could too if I used you as much as I use this. You just come in and put accent in it. You don't have to put it everywhere, but and you can come back and put more black if you want it. You see, I still got the black on this. It haven't dried yet, so you can add more black. I stopped it on the edges because on the back I'll do my own thing. I might find a pretty paper that has footballs on it or some kind of guide theme for the back. But don't you think that that's very cool? And don't you see now why I call it this metal tape the Great Imposter? Because when you get finished with it, nobody will have a clue that it's a metal tape. They'll think it's some kind of... You can really make it look like copper by using... Sometimes I use all. I use copper, bronze, anything. Then you'll come back after... Well, I usually let it dry a while. Then you'll buff it. You spend as much time or as little time as you want to adding or taking away until you get the look you want. So that is fabulous. Alright, I'm going to cut the video off and get it uploaded, and next week, tomorrow's Sunday, but you know, I might still do a video tomorrow. It all depends. I try to rest on Sunday. We have to take at least one day to do what you want to do, and I want to sew. I want to get some project made for my Etsy shop. I want to make some wall hangings, and then I'll show you how to make them. But next week it's going to be on. We're going to make texture paste come Monday. So make sure you have, if you can, look in your cupboards. You need some cornstarch. I don't know why I keep saying corn. Oh, because we use cornstarch when we make our molds. You need some... I can't think right now. What is wrong with me? Talcum powder. If you don't have talcum powder, you can use baking powder. I prefer talcum powder. It's going to give you a smooth result. You're going to need some white paint or gesso. And you're going to need some glue. If you had for my pies, that's good, but you can use any white glue. The Dollar General white glue is kind of runny. I don't particularly care for that one. So just get a good bottle of glue, maybe Aleene's, or I would go with my pies if you got it. And sometimes you can find it on sale. I think my pies is no more than $3 at Walmart. So get those 3 ingredients. I'm going to show you how to make texture paste. And you might wonder, well, why on earth would I want to make texture paste? I'll be right back. I'll show you. Or maybe I won't. Sometimes I could be looking at stuff all day long. Oh, here it is. Until I'm ready for it. Because we're going to use the texture paste to take old ugly vinyl and transform it. You'll see this. This is my background on most of my website. You see that texture? That texture was made with texture paste, and then I imprinted it with different stuff. I think I don't know what I use, who knows. But you can use anything. You use one of those Afro picks or anything to produce some texture, but you need the texture paste. And this texture paste, if you go out and buy it, they want $10 or more. And you can make it for less than $5. Here's another. And sometimes I use more or less texture paste. I stamped in this. You can't see it. I need to put some black. If you put black over it, it'll bring it out more. We're going to make these. And these are some great little journal covers. You can give them as gifts. And I'll show you how straight the elastic through. And remember the one I showed you yesterday? I'm gonna, you know those Midoris or whatever them high price things are? I cut this one the same size as a Midori. And I textured it. And this was some ugly, ugly, ugly vinyl. There's the bag that I haven't even covered yet. So honey, you can really take stuff and I'm telling you right now, this thing right here, I can get anywhere from 15 to 25 bucks for it. Because people love it. And this is awesome closure. I just copied what they did. I wonder how they did that. And then I figured it out. I've always been an inquisitive child. I had one brother, I thought he was going to be a doctor because he was always dissecting roaches and anything. He probably did have a bent toward being a doctor, but, you know, who could afford to send him to college? All right, have a great Saturday, and I'll talk to you Monday or tomorrow, because if I feel like it, I might hop on. Have a blessed day. Bye.